Hi there, friends. This is Kathy Crow, and I am in the middle of a bunch of things. So I'm unfortunately going to have to kind of keep working as I talk to you because I didn't want to come in too late, and I don't think I need my big shot. I'm going to just move this down, okay? You don't even see me out of the picture there, right? And I have to get my computer going here to make sure that I'm actually going, because when you do this on with your phone like I am doing, you cannot tell whether you are on or not. I mean, it says live sometimes when you're not really. You're dead. So I see somebody's there. That's great, but I can't see who. Oh, Melissa, hey, it's good to see you. How is it going? Are you still doing Scentsy? Because Scentsy is always fun. We have some other friends here in town that are selling Scentsy right now, and it's something our home can always use. So anyhow, that's something that we used a lot out at school. When I was at Tap Teal, that's an elementary school, and you are excellent. So if anybody needs any Scentsy, there's your girl. Scensy's wonderful in schools as long as nobody has any allergies to it, because there was somebody who did, and she wasn't all that thrilled with Scentsy, but I loved it. It made the whole wing, just even approaching the bathroom, made it nice. It made it really nice. So it was very sad when we lost our Scentsy. I liked it. And anyway, I see I'm finally on. So part of the reason I'm really delayed today is because I've been making this stack of birthday cards. This is how many birthday cards I do, really almost every week, and I lost one there. And I can't lose it because those all have to go out in the mail today. And it's just something that I do for our church primarily, and I really like doing it. That's how I use up all of these cards that I make. And I just would encourage you to not be afraid to send cards to people. Thank you so much, Marty, for your card. I got your beautiful card. She sent me this, using that same DSP, and I love how she put the ribbon down there and all. It's really pretty. So thank you so much. So I am going to, it's nice when I get a card. I send a lot of cards, and I'm not asking for any, but anyone who wants to, I'm sure not going to complain. It's nice to get a card. So today I am going to continue working on a project that I did over the weekend. And no, Melissa, I don't still work at Tap Teal. I have to get close to my phone because I still see, oh, good, I see comments over here. This is like the first time ever I've actually seen comments. So maybe today will be a great day. It's kind of gray and cold out there today, but I don't work at Tap Teal. I get to do cards. This is a lot more fun. When I was just getting to work with kids all the time, and when I was just working with kids, I'll just leave it at that. There's a whole lot of other things that I did in my job later that I never had to do when I was first working as a paraeducator. It was fun, and then it became very unfun. So those of you who still really like doing it, wonderful, because you are a blessing to people. I'm going to use the High Tide set. I kind of started, oops, there I am. I started one. It's going to sort of look like this. I'm going to finish it. This is not really a finished card, but it's mostly finished because I wanted to just show you that how you play. Okay, I'm going to just kind of play today with this, and I'm hoping it will turn out well. I don't know that it will. The one I started looks pretty decent. I think that's going to be good, but I can't guarantee it's going to even turn out exactly like that. Every time you do a card, it is different, and you have to accept that. I think that people who are trying really hard to copy someone else's and are dissatisfied with what they come out with, I think they're the ones that get really frustrated with card making, and probably any project that you go to do that is sort of an artistically based one. That's the case. It's the case with my gardening. When I garden, I see lots of pictures and catalogs and magazines I look at, and I go to other people's gardens and I love looking at what they do. When I try to make it happen in my garden, it never works exactly the way they've done it. And in my early days, that would really frustrate me, and I might rip a plant out because I wanted to make things look the same. But I don't do that anymore. It's anything that has to do with art is fluid. It's going to change, and what you put into it is what is making it beautiful. You need to see it through your eyes, yes, because they are your eyes. You're gonna be critical of it because they are your eyes. But you need to also just be able to kind of divorce yourself a little bit from the process. Sometimes it helps to just set it away, get it out again, and look at it with fresh eyes, because there's almost always some beauty in there that maybe you didn't see that someone else could. And I'm just going to encourage you to do that, because when you try to copy cards, sometimes it works. They can be very simple and you can actually copy them. But a lot of times just accidents and techniques and stuff happens, and that's actually the joy of card making, when you throw in different things. So what I'm doing today is not all that unique, but I'm going to have fun with it, and I hope you do too. So I'm going to switch us down to my board, and this is just my desk, and I'm hoping that it'll be not too bright. I'll look at it here in a minute and see how it looks over there. But first of all, and I know you're upside down and all of that, and it's just sort of the way the Facebook thing has to be. And hold on a second while I move my camera, or I want to just see exactly what you're seeing, because I can't tell 100% what you are seeing. This is just so difficult for me to look at and see. Okay, I think this is good. So this is the Stampin' Up! Cutting board. This is actually not that expensive of a tool, and I would really encourage you to get it if you don't have a cutting board already. These blades, this is the blade, and this is a scoring tool that are attached to the handle. This handle actually comes off really easily if you want it to, but it stays on really well if you don't. It has a locking mechanism that you want to lock, and I didn't realize this until a demonstrator told me not long ago, didn't tell me personally, but said it on our demonstrator website to someone else. I kept having trouble with my little rubber stopper here that has this wonderful track. It's double-sided, so you get a lot of use out of it, but it will fall out if you don't have your track locked, or this cover locked down. So the way to keep that in, she said, and it works wonderfully, is to always lock that when you're done, and then you can flip it upside down. There's storage in the bottom, so I can keep scoring tools and little scissors, and I keep extra blades under there. Those blades are two of them for $6, which is the best deal out there. I've got other cutting boards. I've gone through 3 cutting boards, some of them really nice ones, like the guillotine ones, the arms sometimes get off a little bit, so it doesn't matter how sharp that blade is. If the arm is off at all, it won't cut a straight line. So I like this because the line stays nice and straight. The blades are cheap, so I always can keep nice sharp ones. And it's small enough that I can use it anywhere and take it places. It can expand to your 12, well, actually it expands to 14.5 inches wide. And this is, oops, let me unlock it and see. And this is 12.25 inch long. So it's a nice cutting surface. And it's plenty for what I do. I do, just cards mostly. If you were doing heavier duty stuff, you would probably have to have something more. And so anyhow, so to get started on this card, again, this is just the basic one that I have out here that I haven't really finished because I wanted to do it. I'm using this High Tide stamp set, and this is in our regular catalog. It has lots of sentiments and, you know, and all this sea stuff, little grasses and all. I won't be using all of this stuff, but they're cute, okay? And then I'm also going to use on this background here, I am using the sand. I'm using the mountains in this sandbar. That's all I'm using from this Waterfront set. It's just a, it has am I using the sand? No, actually I'm using the sand from here. But I am using this little sandbar, I believe, here. I just don't have it in there. Maybe I'm not going to. I did that on another card and maybe I didn't like it and that's why I didn't do it. So anyway, I am using that. It has some other sentiments on there too that I kind of like. Like it has just friend and thanks, and so that's good. But I really wanted something more because I do so many birthdays. I want to turn this into a guy's birthday card because it's hard to come up with a lot of guy stuff. There's so many good flowery girl cards out there, and they're easy to make because there's so many. So guy ones are harder. I'm going to use the Thoughtful Banners is what this stamp set is. It has like every word you'd ever want to use, I believe, in it, all in a very simple font. Then they have a couple of like congrats, celebrate, thank you, hello, love in a more flowery kind of font. But this simple font is wonderful. It has this oh happy day actually, which is what we're going to be using. And then these banners are really cool. It's the perfect size for what, you know, many cards are going to use. And then it has this little punch you can get, so you can just punch it out and it makes it really easy. All right, so the first thing I need to do is I'm going to cut my crumb cake cardstock 1 1/4 in half here, because that's going to be my base card. And then I'm gonna score it. See, I can use my scoring tool. Somebody said to put, did they say to put some colored tape on it? Because I was complaining it one day that it was too close to the cutting tool, and I've accidentally cut things before instead of scoring like I want. So we're scoring at 5 1/2 so that I can just fold it in half. And this other piece we're just gonna remove because I won't be using that. And since that's I should have probably made it a little bit wider than 4 1/4, because now I'm going to need to make this 4 inches, which is gonna be a little bit smaller than I think I wanted, but we're gonna live with that anyway, because I need it to also be mounted on this blue when we're finished. So let's see how that's going to work. See if I gave myself enough. I barely did. I just barely did. I think I need to cut it a little bit farther down. Instead of 4 inches, we'll go with 3 7/8. Get rid of a tiny, tiny strip. And then let's see, 5 1/2, and then we want 5 1/4. And so we're gonna go with 5, 4, maybe even just a tiny bit shorter again, just to be sure that I have this. I have plenty. I want to make sure I can see my blue border, because that's going to look really good with that blue water. We're going with just 3 colors, 3 basic colors. That's the rule. If you want your cards to look pretty good, is to kind of stick with 3 colors. So you can see this is going to be a little bit shorter and narrower, so I'm gonna have to squeeze my little mountains in there more, which I'm not really happy about, but we're gonna make that work. And this is 9 of Navy, and I found a piece in there of that, so I'm gonna push that aside for now. We'll cut it later. So maybe I shouldn't just get rid of my cutting board. I'll just put it away down here and then get it out later. Okay. So the first thing you want to do, these sets are very forgiving. We're going to do our mountains with Sahara sand, and we're going to use Night of Navy for the water, and for the for the lighthouse, and we're also using smoky slate for the lighthouse. And so there's 4 colors because the trees are tranquil tide. I tried to stick with 3 colors, but actually I got a 4th one in there, and 5th if you want to count the sun. And we're not counting it, okay? So the trees are tranquil tide because I wanted kind of a bluish green effect here. So anyhow, I'm going to have to move my card over so I can see what I'm doing. Otherwise, I'll get completely lost. So I think the first thing to start with here is going to be my lighthouse, because I want to make sure my lighthouse, the reason I'm doing this little banner is because I really don't like how the lighthouse enters the ground. Every time I've seen this done, every time I've done it, I've never really satisfied with the way it's on the ground. So we are going to be using, that's one of the reasons I put this tree foil there, and we are also going to put this label on it to conceal that area. The lighthouse isn't the perfect, well, it's not the perfect dimension for these mountains, but it's pretty close. And it isn't for the trees, for sure. You'll see how we do the trees because I lengthen them to make them fit in there a little bit better with this lighthouse. So since the lighthouse is the thing that's kind of the most awkward in this picture, that's what we're going to start with. And so in your lighthouse stamp set, you get their photopolymer, so they're clear, which is wonderful. And then we are going to start with the outlined one. There's an outlining one, and then there's a fill. And we're going to do the outlining first. Okay. So let me grab my block. You want to make sure it stays nice and straight because I noticed that when I put it on last night when I was practicing a little bit, I noticed that it was pretty easy to curve because it's a photopolymer one. It's a little too easy to turn, you know, not maybe quite that much, but I mean even just a little bit. So you do want to make sure it's laying down nice and flat. And then we're going to stamp that, the outline part, we're going to stamp with the Night of Navy because it's the darkest color and I want the darkest color to be the outline. Okay, now my Night of Navy is pretty juicy. Hi Trudy, do you have this lighthouse set? Okay, so let's see if we can get this on here the way I want it. And I'm moving my card over here because I've got a narrower area. I want to make sure there's room for that sun, but I do want it more to the side rather than too close to those mountains. So we'll try it like that. We'll see what happens. Pretty good. I kind of missed the top a tiny bit, but I'm satisfied with that. And then we're going to use that was the Night of Navy, and now we're going to use the smoky slate to do the fill. And I'll have to get my head in here because I have to light it, you know, I mean I have to line it right up. So this is smoky slate. And you can't see it all that well, but it is on there, I know. And you can see it better now. And so excuse me while I take my glasses off too, because I have to be able to line this up, and I need to get my head right in there. Or how about if instead of getting my head in there, I am going to pull it towards me. Okay, it took me a while to line it up, but there we go. You do want to line it up perfectly. You know, I mean, come on. I stamped that other one. I didn't want to have to stamp it again. So that navy blue just kind of, or Night of Navy, gives you a nice shaded effect when you use the lined thing. Now we're going to use we're going to put the water in, and then we're going to put the, no, we better not do it. We better put the do the mountains, because I have one kind of sticking, I have one mountain that's sort of sticking into the water, so I have to kind of work the water around that. So we better go ahead and do the mountains first, and the mountains are in Sahara sand. And you can see I don't use this one a lot. I do really like it. I use crumb cake more, and Sahara sand's very light, so it's really good for anything. This is kind of like a watercolor, you know, it gives you a watercolor effect even though it's not watercoloring. So those lighter stamps sometimes are nice. And I'll get the little mat. They're photopolymer again, which I love because then it makes it so much easier to place your images. Now that block's a little small. I better get this bigger one, even though I was kind of hoping I could use a smaller one, because this one actually is just barely not the right size there. Okay, I stamped off on one of these, so I'd better get the solid one in first. Okay, and I want it to be pretty close to the top of this, what would be the top of the, but I want my birds to show too, so we're having to do it just a tiny bit different. Okay, so that's going to be the darker one. Now I'm going to stamp off on this one because I want those background ones to be much more pale. And this is the tricky part, because sometimes it won't quite stamp the way I want it to after I've done that. Okay. There, that worked. Whew. Wasn't really sure if I was getting that in the right spot. All right, so those are your mountains, and let me put that stamp away. Back in there. And now I can work on the water. And this, you know, I'm not very good at painting. People who like to paint, hi Marty, how are you? I hope, well, she's probably already gone. She said she'll watch the replay, so she's probably already doing something. I don't know how you guys are doing, but I thought I was going to get a lot of gardening done today, and I went out, I forgot to get my little seedlings out. I've got seedlings in our shed that I have to bring out every day to get in the sun. And then I forgot yesterday. I was at church. I totally forgot them in the shed all day. But, and then this morning I forgot them too. But I went out just now before doing this and got them and brought them out. But it's a little cold and windy out there today. So it's probably just a blessing anyway that I didn't have them out earlier. Okay, so I'm not too concerned if it's lighter in places and not light. It doesn't matter. And I'm going to be moving it upside down and all around, because I'm going to fill in all the way down to where I kind of want an imaginary beach down here. And there's a little tiny water stamp that you can fill in where you're missing some spots. Now I do want to go, I want to kind of keep my water going horizontal across here. I don't really want it to. In one of the cards I was practicing with last night, I got the water looked like it was sort of slanting, like it was going downhill or something. That's not the effect I want. But I think I won't re-stamp, because as you get into the distance, you're going to want to have that much lighter. I don't want it that high, so I'm going to bring it down, because I want it to be right here where this mountain is, which is right about there. Maybe I better move. No, my stamp won't really let me. My stamp's not really letting me stamp where I want it to. But that's okay. It's close enough. I'll have to use the other one to fill in, although I don't want to do that. So let me grab a little piece of scrap paper. I know I have some over here somewhere. I know I do. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to use a little scrap paper just to kind of mask my mountains a bit, because I want to use this stamp oop. Let's see. No, better use this side. I need to stamp it off because that's going to be way too strong otherwise. Okay. There we go. Then I don't have to fill quite so much. The little one is really little, so it takes a while to do. Okay, so we're gonna put this one in here. I see Marty shared. Good for you, Marty. Thank you so much. I am probably gonna forget to do that drawing today since I forgot again already to do it. Should have done it right first thing. When am I gonna remember these things? But I definitely will. I will do it tomorrow. And so here's my little tiny water. It is very tiny. It's meant to go in between the shore there, you know. And I'm gonna kind of move it on over like that without really re-inking, because I don't want it to be too dark. Okay. Don't really need to re-ink there. Until I get down a little lower here, I probably better do one re-ink, but I think that's going to be adequate. Okay. So there's your water. Isn't that nice? I love how that stamp set just gives you such a nice effect, and that's just Night of Navy. I could use any, blue would give you that same really nice water effect from this High Tide stamp set. I really like this one. Now I'm going to use my sand to go around. Now the sand piece has a part cut out for your lighthouse, so you can fit it right in there. And I thought that was gonna be, make me happy just to have that, but I don't know. I'm not, and so we'll see what this looks like, because maybe it'll be better this time, but I don't think so. I'm such a pessimist. So I'm using my big block, but I'm going to stamp off because I don't want this sand to be too strong, and it is pretty strong at first. So the Sahara sand. So we're just sticking that on there. I love that. Isn't that cool? It always amazes me. But I still don't like how the lighthouse just sort of sticks there, and like a child's toy placed right there, and I'm not fond of that. So we're just doing this sort of to give our little forest place to be. Obviously a lighthouse wouldn't be just stuck on the very edge of shore anyway. I'm too realistic, I guess. These stamp sets are, I think, geared more for people who are probably more artistic and don't mind artsy things, but I like stuff to sort of be a little more realistic, and that just isn't. That's not doing it for me. So we're going to put our trees in here and to cover that up, okay? To cover the fact that that's sort of just sticking there like a little child's toy right on the edge of a beach with these mountains way in the background. And I think I'm done with Sahara sand, so we'll put that away. And we've got Tranquil Tide. And now we get to have some fun with those trees. The trees are from Waterfront. They're very small, but you can lengthen them. The way this stamp set, or the way they designed these trees, they aren't that hard to lengthen. And I'm not stamping them off or anything. I'm just stamping right on here. Okay, so let's see. I want my first trees to be, let's put them like right about there. That's not very dark, so I might even go over that one again. I want those to be kind of dark. Okay, that's better. And then I'm just gonna go right over the top, kind of lengthening them, going on down. Okay, do you see how miracle of stamping, it just sort of makes a nice longer tree there. And then I can do some shorter ones. And I'm going to be going a little faster here now so that I can get this done in a reasonable amount of time. Now that one I want pretty dark because I don't really want the line of my lighthouse to be right there. So I'm going to move my stamp over a bit and just put some more trees in there to disguise that. Okay, and now I can sort of make those longer there. And then once you get about that far, now you can start putting in some other trees. Now for the second layer of trees, you want to go in between the spaces, you know, to fill in, because you want to cover up those trunks. So we're just gonna, oops, I kind of flubbed on that one, but it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna go all the way down. I don't really want anything but forest to be showing. If you were in Oregon, you would see places like this. This is not, I don't know what it's like on the West Coast if they have such heavily forested right up to the right up to the ocean areas. Now, this has not quite got the detail of my other card because I sort of flubbed up a little bit. And I also, my lighthouse is darker, so you can actually see it through the trees more, which I don't like. And so for this card, probably I will throw that one away and stick with this one because I'm liking what I did on this one much more. But I'm not going to start all over again. I am going to just try to fix this a little bit because I think I can. So let's grab out a different shade. We've got Mossy Meadow is a fairly dark green. And we're going to see what happens if I just kind of cover over some of my other green with it, and this is really breaking my rule. Oops, that's the wrong one. I just did that one. Let's see what happens. Actually, virtually nothing happens. I just don't like that lighthouse on it. It's way too dark. And it was nicely hidden behind my other trees, but not so much on this one. So I'm starting over again. After all my talk about being happy with what you get, well, yeah, that is true. But yeah, I don't follow. I'm an Alice in Wonderland. I don't follow my own rules. Oops, I flubbed on the bottom, but that's okay because that's going to be green. My hands are all green. Okay, we're going to have to go through this quickly now because I don't want to be taking a ton of more time. So this time I am going to do my lighthouse, but I'm not going to do it I'm going to reverse it. Should I reverse it? I might. No, I won't. But I'm going to do my Night of Navy much lighter. I'm going to stamp off so that I don't have it quite so dark. Okay, so we'll do my lighthouse again. Okay, stamp off. Now, how come that one's stamped nicely? Pretty funny. There we go, that's much better. Not nearly as dark, so that's going to work out nicer. And then, let me move that there. Clean that off. And we'll put the Smoky Slate on next. This one I think I'm going to stamp off too because I got that on pretty dark on that other one also, and I don't think I wanted to. Okay, so that's looking a little bit better. It's still a little darker than I want, but not too bad. And then we'll run through the water really quick, like little kids playing in the water. If I can find it. There it is. There's my water. Let's see. I forgot. I got to do those those mountains first before I do that. So let's grab that. Grab the mountain. The mountain was in Sahara sand, I believe. Yes, Sahara sand. Okay, so we're doing regular one right there. Okay, and then we're going to do a stamped off one, like right there. Okay, and then we'll get our water done, which I've got on here somewhere. I guess I can move my, no, I'll leave it out because I'm going to need it anyway. All right, so here we go with our water again. And I'll go like, maybe up about that high. No, I'll get it like, right about there. I'm gonna stamp that off now because I don't want too much light. Oh, and then I need my masking piece that I had. Where did I put that? I've got all kinds of stuff on my desk now. I guess I can use my old abandoned piece to use as a mask. There, perfect. Okay, good. I wasn't really sure if I was getting that in the right spot, but that's pretty good. Oops, I forgot one more spot. Let's mask a little bit more there, and then we'll get that. Okay, there we go. All right, stamping off is a wonderful technique, you know. It's something I should probably do more often. And then the little tiny one to fill in. And that one we're gonna need it to be light and dark. So because I need it to be light and dark, you actually don't have to stamp it. You don't have to keep restamping it. You pretty much just, okay, there we go. And now we can do those trees again. And I hope they do better this time. I think this is not as dark, so it should be better. We'll see. Put that away again. Gotta get my sand going. And we stamped off the sand once. Oops, that was gray, but that's okay. I'm going to not stick with gray, but it doesn't really matter that it was gray because it's going to be behind those trees anyway. So we will go like this and like this. Now I don't want them to be too dark though. Okay, it's gonna be different. I don't know if I can handle it, but we will see. Oh, yeah, last night I went out, well, when we went to church, I looked over my little pansies. I got some little pansies out there because they can take some cold, you know. They can even take a little freezing and be fine. And they were all wilted over. And there were some primulas in there, too, that were all wilted over, and I thought, well, they just, for some reason, I've got our sprinkler system on now. I thought maybe that is not hitting that particular spot, so I went over and watered, but that wasn't the issue because they seem to have plenty of water, so I don't think that was actually the issue. Okay, so this is looking much, much better. So I'm going to just work my way down the trees, making them longer. And now you can see how the bottom of my lighthouse is being hidden the way I wanted it to be. You can't see the lines of the lighthouse. That was the hope. And you just have to kind of make this first row kind of dark to get that effect that you want, because you don't necessarily want to see the, now you can see the water a little better than I wanted there, but it's not that big a deal. So now I made all those trees pretty long. Now I can come in and fill in the gaps with a whole nother row. And then this row is also going to be lengthened, just like if it was a tall forest. And I was talking about how I didn't know if on the East Coast, if the shoreline has really tall trees, but I do think you guys have, you guys have got real lighthouses, because here on the West Coast, my husband and I, it was so funny, I had only seen old movies of you know, the very big, scary, tall lighthouse. And I thought that's what all lighthouses were. I thought they were all about at least, you know, 400 feet tall and big, massive, wonderful things and fun for kids to explore. So we took our, I think they were 8 and 9-year-old boys, and our daughter was probably about 15, and went on our lighthouse tour vacation, because we live very close to the Washington and Oregon coast. So we were going to just drive down to a point and then drive up the coast and look at all of these wonderful lighthouses. And we all started out, you know, having a great time. And after about the 4th lighthouse that we'd gotten to, that some of them we weren't even allowed to climb, but even if we had, it would have taken us only about 2 minutes to climb at the very most. They weren't even 2 stories tall, and it was really disappointing. We actually we had a good vacation because of other reasons, but every time we talk about the lighthouse tour, it's like that was another one of Mom's, you know, big plans, and didn't really happen right because I had no idea that lighthouses could be so short and still useful, because they were functioning. They actually were functioning lighthouses, and I learned. Okay, so now we're going to do the little birds, and they are in, are they in, they must be in high tide. Yep, there they are. So let me grab my, I guess I got to get a big block, because, no, it'll fit there just if I kind of put it on the edge. So we're going to use this smoky slate to put those birds in the sky. And we're going to go ahead and let them be pretty dark. I actually, you know, to tell you the truth, they're not going to be that. I want the farther ones away to be lighter in color. So I just think I threw away my scrap, but let's look here. We're going to go ahead and mask, or not mask, but we're going to stamp off a little bit on those bottom ones, because we're going to make those guys lighter in color. And I want them to be pretty low over this mountain. So my biggest bird is going to be off my card, because he just didn't fit in this one where I had him. So that's fine. He's flying away. And then we have our little sun. Okay, so we're going to put the sun setting into the ocean, or you could have him rising if you prefer to have him rising. But in mine, he's going to be setting. And I used the Mango Melody for that. And I just stamped half of him so that I can get him, so that I can get the coloring right. I want it to be dark. Oops, I just, half of him, remember? You're stamping half. Actually, even maybe just a little less than half. And we're gonna put him kind of partially off this card. And then we are gonna take the, we're gonna do the whole thing. We're gonna stamp it off a couple of times. And then we're gonna just put that on the water so that you can see there's that reflection coming in. Okay, that's looking much, much better. I am liking this so much better because now you cannot see. You see how you could see that lighthouse so clearly behind those trees, but on these you cannot. So just don't stamp that night of navy so dark and you'll be golden. Okay, now we're getting to the end. And I could sponge or something, that sky. I'm not really sure what I want to do with it. I want it to be a sunset. And so I do want color on that sky. And I'm not real sure how I'm going to go about it. I haven't quite decided if I want to do... if I want a sponge or if I did just buy a whole bunch of markers. So maybe I'll try some of those out. If I can find them, because I bought a bunch of Copic markers because I needed more variety of color. And I know I put them somewhere. Oh, there they are. Yay, found them. Okay, so I've just spent a fortune in Copic marker investment. But I think I should have a great plenty. Let's see. I'm going to have to just sort of dump them out, though, so that I can actually see where my colors are. There's that 0, 0, 0. Now, you know that's going to be... Apparently, I've just learned your numbers, you know, tell you whether the hue is darker or lighter. So this is a blue-green, and it has all these zeros, which means it's going to be very pale, pale blue. This one is a blue-green with a 0, 1, so that's going to be a little darker. But I still don't really know what I want to have for my sky. I know I'm going to probably want some yellow on the bottom. That's an 11. There's a 0, 0, but it's yellow-green. Ah, there's a yellow 0, 0. That seems likely. Okay. That seems pretty bright. And there's a B00. That looks good. And I don't think I have any purple because I haven't really totally invested in this yet. Now here is a B0000. Wonderful. And I don't know that I need so many purples because I actually really like Stampin' Up's Highland Heather. It's a nice blending purple. You know, that's it. Let's get the light one out. So we've got some blue. We'll need a little bit of orange. I wonder if I have... Well, we've got this dusty pink. That might do, but let's look. There's 21. There's... yellow red. I think that sounds good. Yellow red 0, 0. Okay, this is, I've never used these before, so let's see what happens. I think I might try it on the back first to see what that color is gonna look like, since I've never tried these yet. Oh, that's nice. I like that. And this one, let's see what this one looks like. Oh, very nice. Like that one too. And this is the 0, 0, 0. Perfect. I am really going to like these. And this one is this is our light heather, which is going to be pretty dark. But I might actually have a lighter pen that'll work there. Lighter purple. It's not alcohol marker, but It's a Tombow. It's about the same color. That's not going to be of any use to me. I just thought I had a lighter, but I don't. Okay, I don't want to keep marking down because this can only go down so far. So we're going to use this one, and we'll start with our darker colors first. So let's do our very dark purple here first. Okay, we'll get that out of the way. And then we'll go to our lighter purple. Now, if you're looking in the sky, you know, you do see streaks of color sometimes. So hopefully this won't look too ridiculous. We'll see. And then we want our orange. I think we can probably use the bullet tip. I don't think I need to use the wedge. I like that. That's a nice orange. I think we need it to go to a darker orange. So we've got yellow, red 21, yellow, red 14, yellow, red 12. Let's try 12. There we go. And then we can probably blend that one in. Very good, very good. Yeah, I really like these Copic markers. They're nice. Okay. And then we'll go to our, that was 0, 0, 0. Better not go to a darker one. We'll go up to our, maybe we'll go to a darker yellow. This one's 11. That's not too dark. I think we can handle it. It's a little dark. Maybe not. It's a little dark. This one's eggshell. Let's see. How about that one? Now that's just too light. That won't work. How about? No. We'll stick with this one and make it do. Okay. Kind of mix it in. As we mix it with that orange, it'll darken up a bit. Or, excuse me, yellow-red. Okay. So we've got our yellow streak going there. Okay, so if it doesn't look like, if it looks like it's not, you know, quite blending enough, just go over it with your lighter color until it works. It'll work itself in if you do that. There we go. Okay, this is looking like a sunrise to me. I think it is. I hope it is. Could be a sunset though. I'm not really sure which it is. Now, I was bound and determined it was going to be a sunset, but now I'm not so sure. That one's too dark. There we go. That's the really light one. So we're going to go ahead and put this blue all over on the top. I don't know how far my card's going to need to go up here, but we'll start it darker up there and then we'll give it some streaks. Okay, give your sky just a few streaks here. And it would have been nice if I'd had that light purple. Would have really liked that. A light purple right there would have looked perfect. But I don't have that, so we're going to put some yellow yellow streaks there instead. Okay, that's looking pretty good. I'm not quite happy with this, and I think I want to firm up that horizon just a little bit. It doesn't look quite what it should be. Let's take a darker blue, just the tip of it. Well, just the chisel tip of it, actually. Now let's kind of firm that up a little bit here. All right. That's a little better. And we need it right here too, where this mountain is jutting in. Actually, it's like a rock jutting into your water. There we go. That's much better. Okay, and then we could take we need a really light one of these, just a little bit lighter, because I don't want to lose all the highlights of the waves. So I really don't want to color that per se, but I don't know if I have another color though that'll work. Because I do like this, I do like how this is working here. Maybe I'll just continue with it a little bit, just where the darker is, and leave the lighter portions. Okay, perfect. That is going to be good. So now let me just remove all of my pen mess so that I have some room. And then we're going to do the banners and put that card together, and it will be all done and ready for a guy's birthday card next week. When I send out a whole another batch of birthdays, I'll be able to use this one. I'm going to be really happy to have that. Our son is having a birthday next week, although I already have his card. I already have his card off, I believe. Okay, so now what am I doing? Oh, yes. So I'm going to use my little scrap, actually, of paper. I believe or maybe I have I have a good scrap right here. We'll use this scrap to stamp the Thoughtful Banner, the Thoughtful Banners, and we're doing this, we're actually going to use both of these banners like this, and then I'm going to use the little "Oh Happy Day," if I can find it. There it is, "Oh Happy Day" sentiment right there. So we'll put the sentiment on the block so I don't lose that. And we are going to stamp the lined part. We're going to do with the Knight of Navy. Okay, so we're just going to stamp that right there. And then we'll use that smoky slate to stamp the other part. It's just going to fill that in a little bit. The thing about these is that, which is really wonderful, I don't have to color it. It's actually much easier to just do your little stamp, and then you don't have to take the time to color it. Now, you can hardly even see it, but I did I did do it. I stamped it. It's on there. I can hardly see it myself. Maybe I'll do a darker one because I can't even tell myself. Well, now the edges look flubbed, so now I'm going to have to do the other one again. Isn't that funny? It is smoky slate. I know I did it. Let me stamp it first. Oh, it's that edge. That is so hilarious. Okay, that's why it's not showing. That's the one I want to use, and then this one is the one I want to do with smoky slate. That's what I did. Okay, oops, better get that guy off. Can't even see what I'm doing. There we go. Now you can see the smoky slate in the lines, and it's outlined a little bit nicer too. Okay, and then, oops, I shouldn't have put that away because I actually need my Knight of Navy for the sentiment. Now, the sentiment's curved. I mean, the banner's curved a little. So the thing about photopolymer stamps, which is really nice, is you can kind of curve them a little bit. And then I can just sort of set it in here and see if that's about the kind of curve I want. Actually, it's a little too curved there. So we're going to try that again. I just need just a slight curve. Doesn't have to be much. I think that's good. There, and then you have your little curved saying right there. Wow, it's already 2 o'clock. My goodness, doing the card 2 times was a killer. Okay, but we've got our punch, so I do have to kind of cut it a little bit to get the punch to go easily. So we'll cut that off, and we'll cut that piece off, and we'll get the punch out here. Oops, just got to get it lined up right. That's the part that I always rush on, and then I don't get him out, but that's perfect. Okay. All right, so here's our card. There's our banner. We're going to put this card on here, but not to that height. That actually is quite a nice height. I don't mind that, but we can cut the bottom off too, because we actually only have a 5.5. Well, this is going to be 5 1/4. So let's get my cutting board out again. Okay, and then we're going to cut the bottom off first. Let's cut off about... Let's cut that much off of the bottom. And then we want about 5 1/4 total, I think, is going to be good. Let's check it. No, probably a little bit more. So let's take off, let's make it 5 inches instead of 5 1/4. That'll leave us a nice border around the top and bottom. Now on the sides, though, probably going to need to take off a little bit on the side. Now I don't want to take off all of my little bird, but I'm going to have to take him off because I just need this to be narrower. Okay, so this is going to be pretty good. Now you can see my blades getting just a tiny bit dull. So when you're Stampin' Up! Blades are just leaving this little bit of fuzz on the edge as you're trimming, then it's time to get a new blade. And I've known that, but I have a new blade. I just haven't put it in there because I've been trimming like this. You can see all of that little bit of fuzziness there. And then we'll just put some rubber cement on the back. That sounds really loud on the camera. When I've listened, that swish, 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 swish. Sounds pretty loud to me anyway. And then we'll do that. And lay that on there. Then we'll need to trim that edge. But I think that's gonna, I've got room. I can make it a little bit bigger. This is the miracle of rubber cement. I can keep moving that card. I can keep moving it until it's exactly where I'm gonna want it, because that's about perfect. Well, maybe this way just a bit more. There we go. I think that's gonna work right there. And this is what happens when you don't measure properly, is you need your rubber cement so that you can keep maneuvering your card about. So that is 4 1/4, or at least it's supposed to be. So that looks just a tad large on that side. So we're gonna just trim it down, make it a little bit smaller so that it's equal sides. And then I might need to trim this a bit. Actually, I kind of would like my brown to show. So let's go ahead and just trim it down a little bit more so that my brown can show on all around the edge. In fact, I believe that's what I had in mind in the first place. So I just got kind of distracted there. The trouble with re-trimming is that sometimes I take more off than I wanted, and then I'm stuck with a smaller border than I wanted, and that's very frustrating after you've gone to all the work to make it exactly the size you want. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Now for this level, I think we'll go ahead and just put I was going to put dimensionals under it, but you know what? Actually, since this is a guy card, guys don't care about stuff like that. It would be cool maybe if you had like a little anchor kind of a embellishment, you know, something like that. That would be really cool. But we're just going to have this on. This is going to be stuck on there anyway. And I'm not going to do any ribbon or anything. So I think we'll just go ahead and rubber cement it on. Okay, I'm a little distracted because I'm thinking flowers. This is the time of year I think flowers, flowers, flowers. So, harder to get into the mood of this kind of a card, but I needed this card. So this is the reason I'm doing it, because I need this kind of card right now. And I did want to use Miss Happy. I love that little, oh, happy day. I love that. That is so cute. All right, so we'll stick a dimensional on the back. I think we only need one. And we're gonna stick it, oh, let's just stick it like right there. There we go, and that is done. All right, I'm gonna flip the camera up. Hopefully it won't mess it up too much. My face is sure red again. Wow. Like a lobster. I'm fine though, actually. And I like this card. It turned out really cute. So share my videos, and I will do the drawing tomorrow. See who won from last week's. You have a great day. I hope sunnier for you. It's really gray here, but I'm still gonna go out. I have my honeysuckles pruned. I have I think all the clematis are cut back mostly, but they're all shooting out, so I need to get out there and get some more. You have a great afternoon. Bye.